On the morning of August the 28th, 2024, the Bengaluru police received a frantic call from a distressed young woman. She revealed that her friend had been murdered, and shockingly, the lifeless body was lying right beside her on the bed. The details of the call sent a chill down the spine of everyone who heard them. How could someone sleep next to their friend's corpse without realizing they had been killed? Without wasting a moment, the police rushed to the address provided, house number 741, second floor, first block, SMV layout in Kengari suburb. Upon arrival, the scene matched the caller's account in every detail. Inside the bedroom lay the body of a young woman, her neck marked with wounds from what appeared to be a sharp object, likely a knife. The bed was drenched in blood, painting a gruesome picture. Standing nearby was the girl who had made the call, visibly terrified and trembling. By then, a crowd of curious onlookers had begun to gather outside the house. The victim was later identified as Navya Shri, a 25-year-old dance instructor with ties to the Kannada film industry, known for her beauty, cheerful demeanor, and zest for life. Navya's murder left everyone stunned, but the questions that followed were even more unsettling. Who could have brutally killed someone like Navya inside her own home? And why? Adding to the mystery, Navya's friend, Aishwarya, had been present in the house at the time of the murder. In fact, the two friends had been sleeping on the same bed that night. So how did Aishwarya remain oblivious to the attack? How did the killer silently break into the house, murder Navya, and escape without a trace? Even more puzzling, Aishwarya reported hearing no sounds, neither of forced entry nor Navya's screams for help. These unanswered questions weighed heavily on the police as they launched their investigation. After filing the initial report, they turned to Aishwarya, the sole eyewitness, hoping her account would shed light on the shocking crime. Aishwarya explained that she and Navya had been childhood friends, inseparable since their early years. They had grown up together, playing, laughing, and sharing their lives. But on this fateful night, their bond had taken a tragic turn, plunging them into a mystery that would leave everyone searching for answers. Both women were originally from Bhadravati in the Shivamogga district of Karnataka, though at the time they were living in Bengaluru. Aishwarya recalled that 3 years prior, Navya Shri had fallen in love with a man named Kiran. The two quickly married, and shortly after, Navya moved to Bengaluru with her new husband to pursue her dreams as a dance instructor. But in the months leading up to the tragic events, the bond between Navya and Kiran began to crumble. The tension escalated, and Navya started feeling increasingly unsafe in her own home, fearing for her well-being. On the morning of August the 27th, around 9 a.m., Navya reached out to Aishwarya, her voice filled with distress. She confided that she no longer felt secure, even in the place she once called home, and desperately wanted her friend's presence to help calm her fears. Aishwarya, immediately concerned, rushed to Navya's side. However, due to the distance, it wasn't until 4:30 p.m. that she arrived. The two women, both uneasy, decided to reach out to their mutual friend, Anil. They invited him to join them, and Aishwarya and Navya drove to PR Nagar to pick him up. As the hours passed, the trio spent time together, but it was clear something was deeply wrong. Aishwarya later told the police that Navya was clearly shaken, revealing the truth about her troubled marriage. She spoke of Kiran's constant jealousy and mistrust, which had led to numerous arguments and left her emotionally drained. Navya shared that, just hours before calling Aishwarya, she had yet another explosive fight with her husband. Feeling trapped and unsafe, She reached out to her friend for support, admitting that she was no longer safe at home or out on the streets. As childhood friends from Bhadravati, Aishwarya immediately dropped everything to be there for her. Later that day, the two women went out for a brief respite and met with Anil, who, sensing the danger, advised Navya to contact the police. He suggested that if the authorities could intervene and warn Kiran, it might defuse the tension. Desperate for a solution, Navya clung to this hope, believing that the police might restore her sense of safety. But tragically, the events that unfolded next would take a far darker turn than anyone could have anticipated. After the conversation, on August the 27th, the three of them went to a party. Later, Aishwarya and Navya returned to Navya's home in SMV layout, Bengaluru, leaving Anil behind. Since there had been tension between Navya and her husband, Kiran, he wasn't at home that night. Aishwarya stayed with Navya, and the two friends slept together. Aishwarya told the police that after that night, she had no idea what happened. She explained that she had consumed drinks at the party and was heavily intoxicated. As a result, she fell into a deep sleep as soon as she got into bed. But when she woke up the next morning, she felt something unusual. The bed seemed wet, as if there had been some kind of accident. Upon closer inspection, Aishwarya was horrified to find blood on the bed, and there, lying lifeless beside her, was her friend, Navya Shri. Aishwarya stated that Navya's throat had been slit, and her body was in a disarrayed state. Shocked and terrified, Aishwarya couldn't believe that just hours before, she had been talking and laughing with Navya. But now, her friend was dead, brutally murdered in her own bed. Aishwarya's statement sent shockwaves through the police. They immediately questioned her, as it was strange that the two of them were the only ones in the house that night. Yet Aishwarya had no knowledge of the crime. Aishwarya explained that since she was intoxicated, she had fallen into such a deep sleep that she didn't hear any screams or any strange noises. During the investigation, the police discovered that both Navya and Kiran had a key to the house. Since they both had separate work schedules, they often came home at different times. The fact that the killer managed to break in at midnight and murder Navya without disturbing Aishwarya was a crucial detail that pointed toward the possibility of Kiran being involved. This theory became more plausible, given that Navya had previously expressed concern about her husband, Kiran. She had even mentioned him as the person she feared the most. The police speculated that Kiran might have used a duplicate key to enter the house in the middle of the night, murdered Navya quietly, and left without anyone noticing. Navya's friends and family also confirmed that Kiran had been suspicious of her, often tormenting her. In fact, Navya's mother also spoke about Kiran's suspicious behavior, and although her statement was in Kannada, it was translated and displayed on the screen for clarity. This case continued to baffle the police as they unraveled the possible truth behind this tragic and mysterious murder. The next day, after the case was revealed, the police were able to track Kiran's location through his mobile and other surveillance data. He was arrested, and a thorough interrogation followed. According to the police, Kiran had suspected that Navya Shri was having an affair with another man, and this led to numerous arguments between them. Navya, fearing that Kiran might harm her, had gone to sleep at her friend's place that night. But later that night, Kiran arrived with an iron rod, using a duplicate key to unlock the door and enter the house. The first thing he did was strike Navya on the head with the rod. Then he slashed her throat with a knife and left the house. Before exiting, he even drank some sanitizer, which led to him being admitted to the hospital shortly afterward. When Aishwarya woke up in the morning, She discovered Navya's lifeless body on the bed and immediately informed the neighbors and the police. However, the story didn't end there. It was later revealed that, on the night of the murder, the killer had entered the house, tied Navya to a chair, tortured her, and then slit her throat. Aishwarya told the police that when she found her friend's body, it was drenched in blood, lying right next to her on the bed. If we accept the theory that the killer must have strangled Navya while she was sleeping, it's hard to understand how Aishwarya, sleeping beside her, didn't notice. Alternatively, if Navya was tortured and murdered after being dragged from the bed, Aishwarya should have heard her screams or any struggle, yet nothing woke her up. Even though the police arrested Kiran as the prime suspect, the case is far from simple. The murder of a dance instructor from the film industry remains shrouded in mystery, and the exact circumstances surrounding Navya's death are still unclear. The Bengaluru police are also investigating whether Kiran acted alone or if someone else was involved in the crime. Friends, the purpose of telling you this story is not to hurt anyone, nor to cause distress, but to raise awareness and keep you informed. What are your thoughts on this case? Please share them in the comments section. If you liked our effort, don't forget to like and share this video. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so now. Thank you.